Okay, this is just a bit of a quick update on my Ridge Racer Deluxe cab. I've noticed that the gear lever has gone really floppy and won't hold into gear, and it's been quite unpleasant to use. So this is what we're going to be focusing on today. This is what it was 6 months ago. It was just a bag of bits that didn't really work very well and was worrying me a little bit, really, considering I hadn't really done any servicing up until this point. So it's had a very big birthday up until now. So I managed to find an old gear lever I had from an old Ridge Racer cab I had many years ago, probably about 15 years ago. So I thought it was about time that I got round to actually removing this. I'd never really played it manual because it was so bad. So like I say, I'd always known that I'd got a spare one. So I decided to service the spare one. Biggest problems with these was just the amount of hours that these machines did in the arcades. The gear lever assembly just basically worn itself out. I'd got one that I'd already done some work on long while ago, so I thought I'll swap this out and basically give it a go. So what I'm doing here is just swapping the base plate over, so that just because I can't find the original. A lot of the original parts for the Ridge Racer were binned long ago. I do have quite a lot of it left, but a lot of the bits that you're never going to use just might as well have gone in the bin, so they did over the years. This red gear lever cover isn't the original. It was something I got with a newer cab that I bought for spares. This is obviously the gate array. As you can see, it's quite worn out. That's what's called a detent. A detent is a sprung-loaded ball which sticks into those ridges. What's happened over time, the ball has worn through those ridges, so there's no longer a land for the ball to land in, so therefore it can just wobble around wherever it wants. They're all the micro switches that obviously give you your gear selection. What I've done in this one, I've rotated the shaft at 180, just so that the warm bit is on the top, and obviously the nice bit with the ridges in is at the bottom, so that gives me the gates, forward and back. Also the springs that centralised the gear lever were all knackered as well, so on this particular stick I'd already serviced that and got those springs working again. So I'm going to keep the old one obviously, and I'll probably service that one at some point. There's the springs underneath that aren't really doing much. So we'll get this pop back in. It's pretty easy to get out. It's not a difficult unit to get out. I prolonged it for quite a while. I didn't really want to be bothered to do it, but I realised that it did spoil the machine. If you actually went to sit in the machine, even though you were driving it in automatic, you naturally cavitate to obviously operating the gear lever, and it felt really loose and horrible, not like a proper car should be. So we'll get the units bolted back in. This one that I've already done, obviously serviced, so we'll get that bolted back in. Nothing really exciting on this part of the video. It's just there it is, bolted back in with the gear lever gaiter, which is obviously already red. There was a couple of bolts missing in there, which for some reason I'd missed. So I've got those popped back in. So I'm really pleased with the way that works now. It's now centralising back, obviously, as you can see, and the gates are there forward and back, so it'd be a lot more pleasant to use. Just popping on the trims. That red cover shouldn't go under there, so obviously I'll twig in a minute that I needed to lift that up like that. I do really love this machine. I'm glad I managed to find some components to get this back up and running. I'd forgotten how much I really enjoyed playing it. It's a close call between this and Daytona. Sega Rally I do enjoy. Daytona I really enjoy, but I seem to work my way back to this. As you can see in the background, I've actually had the plastic seat, like faux leather, covered. It's a lot nicer. It's not so cold on your body when you get in it. It's a little bit of padding. Plus a lot of the seats you find are all scratched and fag burned. So this is what it's all about. It's about having a game. So sit back and enjoy me do 3 laps. Only on the novice on this one. And you'll notice that I'm only playing it in novice and I'm playing it in automatic just to get a feel of the manual. I didn't really, I never really normally play. I'm just lazy. I normally play in automatic. Especially on the novice courses, because it's obviously quite easy. You pretty much stay in top gear all the way around. You'll notice that you do have to press the clutch just like a normal car, which I'd forgotten about, to actually change gear if you get that horrible grating sound. There is a problem on 5th I've noticed on this. I think one of the micro switches on that lever needs a bit of tweaking. There's a little bit of play in the gate which allows the micro switch to click back to third, and you will notice through this that a lot of the times when I do slow down, it does do that grating and drops into third. So I do twig a bit later. I have to hold it into fifth. To the right, six is okay. So, but you spend, like I said, most of the novice course on this. You're going to be in top gear, flat out. There's not really any corners unless you get stuck behind a back marker. You don't really need to slow down much. Just a dab on the brake there, just to get it round the corner. And a lot of the times that's all you need. So we'll sit back and watch me go through these 3 laps. Watch me enjoying my old Ridge Racer again. Lovely. On novice, this is a flat out corner. And a quick blast down into the straight. I probably will talk around this course because it is a cracking game. Back in the day, the visuals, especially this tunnel, was all over the magazines and that at the time. This is the pretty, if you don't see any back markers, that's a flat out corner. The PlayStation 1 did do a fairly good conversion of this. I must admit, it plays just as good, unlike Daytona USA. That's a flat corner usually. Like you say, you only have to back off sometimes if you get these cars in the way, because they can stop you quite abruptly. This is the most difficult turn in the course, really, on the novice. A dab of the brake and you can sideways go around there. That's not usually too much trouble. Flat over here, and then flat round this corner. And again, back to the last turn. Brilliant graphics these are, for the day. Again, it's brilliant. And I don't think the gameplay of many racers has touched this. You don't really see these anymore. The later cabs, Ridge Racer 2 and Rave Racer, were again brilliant conversions, but nothing, it all built from this. They didn't really bring that much new to the table, just new courses, new ways of doing it, slightly enhanced graphics to squeeze a bit more out of the hardware. But again, Ridge Racer, that's why I've spent so much time getting this unit going. You don't see many of them about nowadays, especially in any good condition. So it's great to see this all starting to come together now. I just need to organise some stickers to try and replicate the original stickers that obviously have been lost in time. Do love watching these outros. Well, if you managed to get this far, that's just a quick update on my Ridge Racer. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again in the next video. Bye for now.